So I picked up this sign at the Dollar Tree a couple of years ago, and it was sort of a last minute purchase at that time. And even last year, I looked at it and was like, oh, I need to do something with it. You can see this very chic orange string that I tied onto it in order to hang it up outside on the lamp next to my other decorations. Very classy, very, very chic. So anyway, I decided I wanted to sort of fancy it up just a little bit, make it a little more bright and colorful. So I'm at Michael's trying to find a few Halloween colors that I like. I'm torn between these two, thinking, I'm gonna put that one back and take that one because the other one looked a little more blue. Got my purple, got my orange, and then got distracted by this. Ooh la la. This gives me ideas, but I am proud of myself. I showed restraint and I did not get these today. Maybe in the future. They're kind of pricey. We'll see. So I had the spray paint at home already. I was thinking about using the black for the outside, but then I found this dark purple, which I really like, and the black one's almost empty. So I think I'm going to use this for the edges, for the back, just to finish it up. Or not finish it up, make it look nice. So I'm just shoving some computer paper in here to keep the writing from getting covered by spray paint because that would be nightmarish. Here we are about to spray and struggling some more, realizing that there's a little black loop underneath or a little black ring underneath the sprayer part that they do now instead of the lids. So once I figured that out, we were good to go. Did a little testing on the back. I actually really like this color, so we're gonna go with it. The wind picked up. I'm wondering if my plants are getting sprayed. Don't know what I'm gonna do with this string yet, but we'll come back to that. So after that dried a bit, I came back outside, sprayed the fronts, hoping that this works out. It's very windy all of a sudden. This is why I'm changing angles so much. Still all day. Now the wind had to pick up. So here we go. This is mostly dry, mostly. And then I turned it around and found this little gem from our nasty table outside that has never been cleaned between spray paints. I'll pick that off later. So just a couple of things about this paint. So I got two different brands, and then I realized also that like this one is just a regular acrylic paint, so I'm assuming it's shiny. Let's take a look. I'm gonna roll it around a little, shake it up just a little bit, because sometimes when they sit on the shelves for a while, they get a little runny and separated. I don't know how long it's been there. It might be brand new. I don't know. Either way. Okay, we're gonna burp right there. So that one is shiny. And then I have these two, and they both, right? Yeah, they both say, so this one is flat. Oh, where are we? This one says flat. It's just a ultra matte acrylic paint. And then this one is also a matte finish. So the thing is, it doesn't matter because when we're done, I'm going to varnish the whole thing anyway to sort of seal it up. Ooh, yay. Yes. That's a purple I can fall in love with. All right, let's see this black. Let's see if I made the right choice in the store for this one. Yeah. The other one felt like it had a little bit of blue in it. Yes. Beautiful. So there's our paints. They all actually look pretty shiny, but I guess when they dry, these two will be more of a matte finish. Then I also have some glitter. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it all. And then I have this glitter too. So lots of different colors. These have been kind of hanging out in my drawer for a while. I used to use them for a lot of jewelry making things. This one, the little hearts, the purple are the hearts, but then there's some purple stars. So I don't know if I'm going to use those purple stars. I'm going to try to control myself. Let's see, that gold is also little hearts. Not very Halloween-y. So I don't know if I'm going to use all of those. We will see. But let's get into painting, shall we? So I'm starting out with my orange paint in the background because then I'm going to paint those inside edges with black. So I don't know. I just figured this was a good place to start. I was actually nervous about going into this. I think my biggest fear was that I was going to end up with paint inside all of those cutout places, and that didn't seem to be too much of a problem. So it was kind of nice that it was just going right around it. I didn't have to worry too much. I did end up cleaning up a few places here and there. But the paint's going on rather thin at this point. I think it's because it wasn't shooketh up enough just yet. Sometimes when they're brand new and they're really full, even if you shake them at the beginning, they still end up being a little bit runny, a little bit watery, but that's okay. We're just going to get in there and work the thing. Here's a little close-up action for you, a little wobbly close-up action. So I'm just putting my brush right up against that edge. I'm going to clean it up with black paint anyway in a little while, like I said. But it's going on nice and smooth. I'm glad I didn't have to prime this first because I don't like to wait for things to dry, which is why the whole outside of it is still kind of sticky. But you can see this is still my first bit of paint and it went a pretty long way. So I'm happy with that, you know, I didn't have to just glob and glob loads of paint on there. So I'm just going to add a little more orange, just going about my business. And then this happened. No. But I just went in with a cloth and it wiped right off. So stop being such a drama queen, Sandra. Anyway, so there's the finished first part of it. Again, you can see where it's a little splotchy. So I'm just going in with a second coat of this now. The paint's going on a little thicker. Just going to go about my business, do the thing, paint the thing. And there's a little bit of an oopsie inside that letter. That's kind of what I was worried was going to happen. But I honestly just really easily took it out with a dry paintbrush, scooped it up because it's so shiny on that part. It's very slicky, kind of plasticky feeling, I guess. So that's kind of how I went along and cleaned up any places like that that happened. And it was fine. So super easy. So yeah, the panic was eluded. So right here, after I painted a good big section, you can see where I'm going in just with a dry paintbrush and just scooping out on some of those really tiny edges, those little angled places, some where some of the paint kind of sort of gushed over the edge a little bit. And I'm cleaning the paintbrush off on my towel in between that. So now we get into the scary part. Going in on those inside edges, trying to figure out which brush I'm going to use. So initially I started with sort of a smaller flat brush because I thought if I could paint along the inside edge, that would work. But you can see how sloppy and gross that turned out. So I was trying to get it to where you guys could see what I was doing and do the thing at the same time. And I think that was just making it really hard because it's such a weird angle to film. So ultimately I ended up changing brushes and I ended up using a larger filbert brush, which has the kind of the rounded tip, and not filming that part because it was just easier for me to have control. But here I am trying to brush up along that edge so I don't actually paint on the top edge. Ew, that is so gross and so bad. Trying to touch up that orange paint, realizing that the black paint wasn't dry yet, so decided to move on to something else. And I really wanted to use this purple. It is not sticking to the inside of that. I don't know why I thought it would since I realized how easy it was to clean it out, but I just had a moment, I guess. So going on to plan B for the little bats. I have this Judykins Diamond Glaze, and I thought, let's put that in there and add a little glitter. This stuff, the nozzle was just not going to cooperate. I actually ended up sticking my scissors in the top of it and it still didn't open up enough. So we're just going to pour it on it. We're just going to go for it. And I'm trying to be a little bit controlled on this one. You'll see when I do the next one, not so much since I had a little practice here first. Scared to go for pouring the glitter in, trying to maintain again a sense of control here. Yeah, we can see how that's working out, right? And then I'm actually just sort of picking the whole thing up and slamming it on the table so that it will even out in there and the glitter will spread nicely. Trying to clean that up with a brush, see how that worked. I mean, this is how we learn, right? This is how we learn. So here we go, second bat, just pouring that diamond glaze in there. One thing I like about this too, the reason I use this is because it dries fairly quickly. So I thought that would be to my benefit because If you hadn't noticed, I'm a little impatient trying to clean that up. Oh, it's a mess. Banging it on the table again, trying to get the glitter evened out into the diamond glaze in there, trying to shove some more of that glitter into the little bat. Oh, I'm a disaster. It's ridiculous. Very messy, very messy. So, yeah. So you can see where this is, it's just everywhere. It's just all over the whole thing. So I ended up taking it into my bathroom, which probably is covered in glitter now too. And I just used the hair dryer to blow some of the glitter off of the edges, to dry the little bats a bit, and to try to dry some of that paint that I need to paint over with the orange. So now I'm a little stuck because I'm not sure what else I want to do, and I am struggling to get those edges cleaned up. So I'm going to resort to more glitter and my glue gun. She's my she's my hero. She's always my hero. She's my saving grace, this thing. So, I'm thinking I don't want it to be a super straight line, and then no, this stuff, oh my gosh, this disaster. So these little bits are they're flat and slicky, and they just come out of there like a waterfall. So I'm trying to stay a little bit in control of this, and I feel like I'm starting to get the hang of it at this point, kind of, sorta. I mean, I've used glitter many a time. I've taught children, and yet here we are. I have no excuses. I don't even know. But I'm thinking, okay, moving right along. I'll clean all that up in a bit, and then, well, let's see. Yeah, all the strings, and then, yeah, struggle with that for a while. Do your thing, girl. And then moving around the corner, and then I realize pretty quickly that, my bat is not dry, and it's going to have these big, giant, random sparkles in it. But you know what? We're going to persevere. We're just going to keep going, and we're going to make it work at this point. I will not be defeated by the sparkles, okay? I will not be defeated by the glitter. And I think at this point I was just giving up and just pouring as much of this crap in there as I could. Just like trying to get this thing done. And definitely was not trying to be careful around my other little bat. I just thought, if nothing else, they'll just have the same sparkle. And it'll be, cohesive. Yeah, that's it. So now I'm going to try to get rid of all this excess glitter now that my glue is dry. And, ooh, look, we're just going to make it rain sparkles, pull all the glue strings off of the back and everywhere else. I don't know how I can possibly be this messy, but oh, look at that. It's a little glittery rainstorm, and this is what I'm left with. So now I'm going to try to be mindful of my materials, and I'm going to gather all of these up and try to put them back in the container because there's a boatload, and oh, there we go. That's genius right there. That is genius at work right there. So anyway, I dealt with that, cleaned up all of these little stringy bits. Oh, this stuff. It is like this serious love-hate relationship happening with this. Trying to get that freaking glue string that just won't leave me alone. Trying to get all of the excess little glitter bits off. And then I go into full attack mode over here, trying to get some of this away from my little bat so it doesn't look like he's being attacked by this glitter on the side of the frame. Just getting vicious. Go in there with that palette knife and just do some surgery. It's kind of like that game Operation at this point, but with glitter. I'm just flicking those things all over the place. It's good times. It's delightful. I am a professional after all. I do know what I'm doing. I promise. And then realizing the other bat also has a bunch of those bits in it too. So we're going to try to flick some of those out of there. I mean, I'm trying, you guys. I never promised that I was perfect. I'm just trying to make a pretty little Halloween sign. I'm doing my best. So I got it all cleaned up the best that I could, and I had this ribbon in my cabinet that was Halloween ribbon I got at Goodwill last year. It was a little treasure, and I thought, what if I added a little bow? It just needs a little something else. I am not great at making bows. Here I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it if I do decide to use it, and I did. So I'm not great at tying them. This was my little haphazard method of figuring out how I was going to hot glue this bad boy together. So just kind of folding the edges over to meet them in the middle, scrunching it up, and then very, very safely, of course, hot gluing this very thin fabric together, adding it to the top. I went ahead and varnished the whole thing. I ended up spray painting the string the same color that I used on the outside of the box, just so that it would all kind of tie together, keeping it simple at that point. Is it my finest work of date to date? No, but I do like it. I think it turned out really cute. It served the purpose for being a little bit more bright for Halloween. I hope you guys enjoyed your Halloween. I will see you soon.